Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 6 of season 5 around Great Britain, also known as Silverstone. Alex, do you want to take it through the track map?
Oh, well, indeed, it's going to get interesting. Yeah, don't see how it's going to go. Big track, a lot of straights, pretty much flat out for the whole lap. But yeah, it's going to get interesting, especially with strategies coming into play. But let's go through the track map. Right, on Hamilton, straight into turn 1, flat out through there, and turn 2 to DRS detection zone 1 as you go into turn 3. Pretty simple corner, but don't want to get on the power too early, can get the rears gone. Into turn 4 and turn 5, nice straight. After that, with DRS, going into sector 2, into turn 6, nice little corner there. Can't really make an error there, but lovely little corner into turn 7, onto another, on the back straight of turn 8 to turn 8, and to Cops into turn 9. Gonna be where you gain time or not. Turn 9 is crucial. A lot of track limits issues can be done there. Into Maggotts and Beckett's turn 10, 11, 12 and 13 and 14. Probably the trickiest corners, but if you can get that right, you look superb and gain all that time possible out there on track. DRS wide open in sector 3. Past the speed trap into turn 15. Nice, I think it's farm curve that. Then into the chicane of turn 16 and 17. That's also pretty tricky on with track limits, and you don't want to get on the big yellow curb there either. Then turn 18 your final corner, flat out mainly, past back onto the start finish straight, and that completes a lap. I think we'll be looking for about 28s. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. But
in qualifying, it's looking like some of the drivers are in the 26s, so that could be pretty exciting to see. Move on to the standings quickly. There are your constructors. Ferrari hitting 100 points. Williams moving down a place into P2. Alfa Romeo into P3. Red Bull looking good, 3 positions gained. Up to 66 points into P4. On to the drivers. Jamal takes the lead of the drivers' standings. Lewis Piper down to P2. Striker Boy keeps up his consistent results. 10s and 12s points in every round so far. Can he do it in this round? We'll have to see. Lucas Giles looking good recently, putting a lot of practice in with 10 plus, who had not the best of starts, but managed to get 15 points last week. So we'll move on to qualifying.
Now this qualifying, you can make a lot of errors on a single lap. I don't think you can really get a perfect lap in, and if you do, then it'll be truly phenomenal. But Silverstone, there's so many different lines you can take, and we're going to see that today in qualifying. We got both the Ferraris in today, who are probably the most formidable force at the moment, looking very strong. I think Lewis Piper is now joining as well, so that's going to get interesting too. See how he gets on. But overall, we'll see how this goes. But also the Red Bulls looking pretty fast. We saw we'd hosted practice session earlier on in the week, and they looked pretty speedy. But there's a few others out there what could cause an upset. But we'll have to find out in the last stages of qualifying, as no one's came out of the guide yet. It's just got underway.
Yep.
Who do you think's going to grab pole?
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question. Both the Red Bulls have been looking good in the Discord, posting their lap times and doing lots of practice sessions. But I think it will be Lucas Giles who sets the pole position today. What about you?
I'm gonna say, I don't know. Jake Squid's up there too, Phoenix, of course, and Jamal. Lewis Piper, he's gonna want to get back at the top spot, but I think Phoenix.
Phoenix,
I think Phoenix will grab it.
Yeah, I've been very active on Twitter as Phoenix. good to see all of his messages about the league. Obviously, it's Lewis
There's the
Piper.
first few cars.
Yeah, if Lewis Piper joins, could make it ever more interesting. Thank you to everyone who's joined so far, as we will ride on board with 10 plus.
Now 10 plus, still. I mean, he got a great result out last time, a lot better than he has been in the past races, but maybe it's just a turning point now of where he's got to turn it on now in this league race today. But yeah, he does need to just have a little bit of a switch and just try and get some more podiums in the results for him. But been struggling a lot at the start of the season with stuff like grip and strategy. There's a lot of things that just haven't gone his way at all, and hopefully last week was the turning point, and hopefully more good things to come. But his teammate and his team altogether are looking very good, very great good teamwork from the lot of them really. Great in practice, but yeah, it's going to get interesting to see in the teammate battle who comes out on top, 10 plus or Lucas Chavez.
Yeah, let us know in the chat as well who you think will take pole position today. Good evening, Alfie. Nice to see you in chat. That's 10 plus he's preparing. Behind him, Lucas Giles as well.
But these sector times are crucial. I think the main sector times to look at is probably sector 2. Is where it can all go wrong. Sector 1 is pretty good as well, but I think mainly sector 2 is where you can gain the most time compared to everyone else. So let's see how 10 plus does it. Nicely on the apex, gets on the power nicely. A nice smooth banker lap for 10 plus so far. DRS wide open on the second straight of this lap. But yeah, looking good. Out wide, nice line. Widen in, better traction on exit. Onto the back straight. Now heading into Cops. So it's a pretty clean lap so far, as pretty much everyone's on a lap right now. Apart from Johnny, who is in the pits, but everyone is out on track, which is good to see. As Crash Gene sets the fastest lap time, always Jake Squid demolishes that with 27.6. That's a very fast lap so far. I don't think we've seen 10 plus set any purple sectors, but I think it is mainly just a nice banker lap to get him underway in qualifying. And let's see where he can compare it to the other side of Red Bull, the AlphaTauri of Jake Squid. Hasn't had any traffic at all in this lap, which is quite good, seeing that all the drivers are on track. There's always a bit of a spinner here, as gets round the final corner, crosses the line. He does stick it on provisional pole for now, with his teammate just beating that with a slight margin there. Look how close they are. You can tell they've been practicing together. But yeah, good banker laps from the Red Bulls. A little bit of traffic there. Oh, it's Jamal. It goes a tenth faster. This could be a lot closer than we think. If the Ferraris are close, then it's going to get interesting in a lot of stages, especially with Phoenix on a lap right now. But so is Lewis Piper. Now he is the main man to beat. Was leading the championship for so long, but then unlucky last race, just couldn't get it back from the mistake he made, which did made him DNF in the end, and he just set a 28.3, which is about a second behind Jamal's time, which just won't caught. Maybe made a mistake on that lap time. We've seen him a lot faster on that on other occasions, but Kevin Slice, you might know, is a tier 2 driver. So we'll see how he does. Currently in P11, as he's not set a lap time, but there's a few drivers still on laps right now. The traffic is looking very heavy on the final straight in sector 3.
Yeah, Kev the Slice looking to impress. We saw how dominant he was in the tier 2 race, if any of you did watch that. See how he matches up in tier 1.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to get interesting to see how we do shape up. We've got a couple of new drivers today. We went a bit wide there. Big wiggle from the McLaren. Unlucky there. Maggots and Beckett's, it's just where he lost it. Needs to improve on the next lap, as we are now watching Alpine of Pimpula. Now you might remember Pimpula, I don't know if we streamed when Pimpula raced. Might have done, but raced here before as Pimpula, very similar circumstances. I've just noticed a few drivers have invalidated on the laps. It is pretty tricky with track limits around Britain. Silverstone circuit. But now rounds out turn 7. Nice on exit, gets the power down. Nice and early. Pimpers just probably gonna want to get it in the top 10, because the top 10 is looking very fast today. I've got to say it's going to be tricky getting anywhere near the top 5. But if any of these new drivers do stick in the top 5, I'm pretty sure a team principal will be there to snatch him up, because that is where you want. Ooh, took way too much curb there. Pimpler got a bit too brave. Turning in to Beckett's.
See what Old Hoss can do.
Now Old Hoss has been very consistent this season, scoring consistent points. Always been up there to finish in the top 5. But Old Hoss at AlphaTauri has done a very good job so far. As we now move into, I think, Williams next season, as Lewis Piper is transferring to the AlphaTauri at the start of next season, which is going to get interesting. But Old Hoss, I'm pretty sure, don't get me wrong, he might not be as fast as Jay Squid, but he's getting better results due to his consistency. So that just stands out for Old Hoss. He's always there to bring the points home, it seems, for AlphaTauri at the moment. But Jay Squid, I mean, with that win under his belt, he's absolutely fantastic. With his pace, just needs a bit more consistency, especially better than he had last time out. But since Maggots and Beckett's a bit cautious, I've got to say, probably could have took a bit more curb, definitely. And that's probably lost him a bit of time, as I think he's actually down on his last time, so I'm not sure if he's going to peel into the pit lane at the end of this lap. But I think at 3 tenths, which isn't good enough. Wants to get in the top 5, but yeah, comes into the pit lane, doesn't improve. Smart decision.
Striker boy invalidates his lap. Let's ride on board with Jake Squid, see what he can do.
Now Jake Squid got his second ever win in FZR, first ever win in the F1 22 game in Miami. Looked very good on pace, as he's 2 tenths up, I think that was, in the first sector. It's definitely a purple sector, and that would put him on provisional pole, just need to keep it steady. Now, if Jake Squid improves in the next 2 sectors, he could be easily flying ahead in P1. Now, into Cops. Ooh, that's very brave. Nice, he does it on the curb. He's doing everything right on this lap so far. Is it the perfect lap he has been dreaming of to get pole in round 6? Oh, he's done that very nicely. Jake Squid is looking very, very fast. 2.5 tenths, bit over there, that. Is Jake Squid in the AlphaTauri. He's looking mega quick in this car. It's not a purple sector 2, but in sector 3, a bit of a wiggle there. Lost it a bit on the throttle, but rounds out the final 3 corners. Nice, he does it. He's about to cross the line. Jake Squid is going to put it on provisional pole. Yes, he is, by a 10th. Wow, what a lap from Jake Squid. Made a bit of an error in sector 3, but that's a very strong lap. 8 minutes to go in the session. Jake Squid is on provisional pole. Great lap, got to say.
Yeah, let's see what Phoenix can do. Looked very strong in the first tracks that he did this season. Nicely onto the grass. Nice views there. DRS open, deploying all the battery.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Into the final
He's always
sector.
up there. It's great horse in the Ferrari. Ferrari's always got a good result under the belt, with Jamal topping the championship and Phoenix going to want to challenge too. As Phoenix, with an absolutely stonking lap, puts it on provisional pole into 26s we are now. That's a fantastic lap on Phoenix. 4 tenths. Wow.
Into the 26s.
Great lap from Phoenix. I'm not sure what our last lap time here was in Britain. I'll try to find that out, but it's going to get I think we might have bet it by now, surely. Because, yeah, we've absolutely bet it by a mile. Last time, our pole time was a 27.698, and that was set by Jamal, and now we are into the 26s. Oh, Lewis Piper seems to have struck quite a lot then. His first lap, he was up by quite a long way as well. That's a bit unlucky. But Lewis Piper seems to be struggling in the first stage of qualifying. But unlucky so far.
Ball into Peter. So what Jamal can do, 1:10 up on his previous time.
Now Jamal, teammate of the current provisional pole sitter, is probably going to be the main man to challenge. With obviously Jake Squid with a chance too. Jamal is a 10th up, went very wide there, but a bit greedy on exit.
Backs out.
Still,
see what he can do in the Red Bull. Seen a lot of practice been put in between him and Lucas Giles. Been good to see. Can he put it and produce a good lap time?
Now 10 plus sector 1 is pretty critical, especially if straight line speed is not your setup. But let's see how much 10 plus has improved. 300th of a second so far. That won't be good enough to gain any positions. Needs to gain that bit more in sector 2 and sector 3. Went slightly wide there on entry, but probably benefited slightly more on exit, as Legend just went past him and put it in P5. 10 plus is going to challenge. He's going to want to challenge the top 3, and let's see. If you can, Maggots and Beckett's is crucial if you want a good lap time. Now on exit, it looks pretty good from 10 plus, I've got to say. DRS open, he's 2.5 tenths up. This is a great lap from 10 plus so far. Now into sector 3. These corners are critical if he wants to stick it in the top 3. Oof, turn 15, completed it. Now into turn 16. Brakes nicely, turns in nicely too. Needs to get on the power nicely, went slightly. Oh, he's done that pretty nice actually, I've got to say. Onto the Hamilton straight, crosses the line, puts it in P2. That's a fantastic lap from 10 plus and puts it on the front row. He is going to be pleased if he finishes with that result, of course. Only a few minutes left.
Up. And that's only in the first sector.
Wow, he must have made a mistake on his last lap then. But 5 tenths, that is very strong. Now into sector 2. Went probably turned a bit too much in there, but hopefully it still will gain him lap time. But now into Cops. Let's see how he does it. Nice, he does it in 7th gear. Maggots and Beckett's. Like I said, we saw it on Tempest's lap, it gained so much time through Maggots and Beckett's. Everything seemed to fall for him. But can Striker Boy do the same? On exit, DRS wide open. Let's see how much he's gained. Oh, he hasn't gained anything. He's down by quite some margin.
So
must have lost it. Just seems everyone's struggling a bit then with grip. I'm guessing in sector 1. And ran out of ERS for Old Hoss 2. I don't know if he's went for 2 laps in a row or something, but that won't gain him any lap time at all. That'll lose him so much down the straights. There's Brodo NL, another tier 2 driver filling in today in the Williams. Gonna want to challenge his teammate Lewis Piper. And let's see if Brodo can get a good lap in. Now it rounds out turn 7, gets on the power nice and early. Now going to head up to Cops. Gonna want to gain quite a lot of time.
Can Chris W just ask me?
Yeah.
Little snap there for Brodo, but he's 2.5 tenths up on his previous time. Doesn't look like he's going to gain any positions from that, because Lewis Piper is 7 tenths quicker. But let's see if he made a mistake on his previous lap in sector 3. See if he can improve on that. Here we go, across the line. 5/10 improvement, doesn't gain any positions out.
Yeah, unlucky. We've still got a few drivers needing to get another good lap in. Seem to make mistakes on their first. But those top 10 positions are looking very close. Yeah, again, from P8 down to probably P12, P13, it's looking pretty close, as it always seems to be in the midfield. But Johnny needs to improve to get anywhere close to the top 5 positions. All to gain in Sector 2. Now into Cup seems to be a bit of traffic ahead, but he probably will benefit from a slipstream. Let's see if anyone gets in his way, as seems to let him by. That's nicely done. Won't be getting any traffic, hopefully not, from the Alfa Romeo ahead.
Close.
They were close, but I think they just got out in the way in time. We'll see. As he's backed out, yeah. I think probably just put him off a bit there.
Jake Squid, 2.5 temps up.
Now, Jake Squid is probably the main contender to get pole today, with Phoenix, of course. But main one to challenge is definitely Jake Squid. Templos is also on an outlap too. Pretty much everyone is now ready for the final qualifying laps. But Jake Squid, this is his lap of the day, and let's see if Jake Squid can improve to at least P2 to get himself on the front row. He will be pleased with that, I'm guessing. Ooh, leaving no room, no margin for error out there on the curbs pretty perfectly in Maggots and Beckett's, but doesn't gain that much time. It's a purple sector though, with just 900th of a second up on his last time, but that looked phenomenal in sector 3. So I'm having a bit of a wiggle there last time, probably will gain a bit more there, probably about a 10th up now, I'm guessing. Jake Squid is. Templos doesn't get another lap in the end, that's unfortunate for Templos, but Jake Squid, all eyes on you. Can he stick it on the front row? Yes he does, gains 2 temps nearly, but Jake Squid is on the front row for now. Got to see how Jamal gets along on his lap time too, and Lucas Giles. But 200th up is Lucas Giles. Legend puts it in P3. That's a nice result for him, but Lucas Giles and Jamal are still on laps behind. Main ones contend. Jamal can't improve on his last lap time and puts it in P5. Lucas Giles now is the last one left in the top 6 to set a lap time. He did gain in the first sector. Now Maggots and Beckett's the crucial corners in the second sector. No margin for error. On the curbs nicely. Gets a great exit onto the curb. DRS wide open. 2 temps nearly up. Oof. Wow. Lewis Piper is also on a lap time. I'm not sure if he's going to improve. Hopefully it does. It's not done. It seems to go his way. But in sector 3 now, as Phoenix goes even faster on a 126.7. That's a beautiful lap from Phoenix, and I think that's gonna. Oh, Lewis Piper out of nowhere, a 26.6. But Lucas Giles puts it in P5 and beats his teammate. Nicely done. But Lewis Piper gets pole position in the final seconds of qualifying. Phoenix tried to improve to block him out, but no. Lewis Piper, the formidable force, is back again. He looked like he was struggling all qualifying long. Snatches pole position away from Phoenix. I thought Phoenix was dead on pole position. Then Lewis Piper, the hero, comes out of nowhere. What a lap from Lewis Piper, and he's back on top again. P1, Lewis Piper.
Yeah, I did not expect that from Lewis Piper, but you've got to count on him always. You can always count on him. Lewis Piper, pole position. I thought after his first lap he wasn't going to be close, but here we are, Lewis Piper, pole position.
Yes, fantastic lap from Lewis Piper, just a 10th up on Phoenix. But yeah, looking good.
Here are your standings then. And remember guys, for everyone who's watching the stream and or the replay, make sure to follow us on socials, as we'll be posting the final race results along with the highlights and standings.
We've beaten the last season's qualifying time by a second. That is huge improvements from the whole grid. But yeah, fantastic stuff from Lewis Piper and the rest of the grid to get up to standards.
Yeah, good to see. A 10th between the top two. Let's hope it's that close in the race.
I think the main winner from the cars behind is definitely Jake Squid. Fantastic lap from him to put it in P3 and beat the rest of the drivers, and closest now to Phoenix and Lewis Piper. Hopefully he can put in a challenge. Hopefully race pace is his. As we're about to get underway for the 6th formation lap of the season.
Who's going to win from here?
I'm going to say the Ferrari or Phoenix. I think the race pace will be his. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say Phoenix.
I'm still going Lucas Giles. Interesting position from the Aston Martin then.
It's like Fernando Alonso. Oh well. Bit laggy there.
Leandro cheering for Red Bulls in the chat.
That's all right now. No more issues then. Fantastic. The battle between Lewis Piper and Phoenix is probably going to go all race long. It's going to be like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in 2021. Hopefully no big incidents though. But Williams and Ferrari yet again challenging it out. With Legend actually just putting it in P4, that's a brilliant result, and if Legend gets it to the line and win P4, Mercedes will be pleased with the new team principal. But P4, they've struggled all season, they got a good result last time. But yeah, see how Mercedes does in this race.
Oh, it's Durus in the chat. Cheering for the Red Bulls, obviously the CEO. Nice to see. Welcome, welcome.
As round 6 is about to begin. The scene is set and we're about to get underway. Race like no other in Silverstone. Let's see how people's seasons, how drivers' seasons will be made.
Lewis Piper
And
disqualified after braking too late. That could be critical for the start, as he's set back from his starting position by a couple of metres. Would that give Phoenix the advantage?
as we line up then. But yeah, definitely a big advantage to Phoenix, especially if he's got the car parts well, and he seems to have done. Definitely purple. But that'll give him a huge advantage really, side by side then already. Just slightly ahead is Lewis Piper now. His advantage is big on. As the scene is set then, let's see how the drivers get on. 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Phoenix does get away well, but Lewis Piper seems to get it done nicely. Jake Squid with a fantastic start up to P2. That's a brilliant start from Jake Squid. Dream start from him indeed. Now the rest behind battling it out, as Lucas Raz is going to want to get involved too. But Phoenix down the inside gets that position back again after a bad start from him. But Jake Squid is going to want to get that back. Lewis Piper already 1.5 seconds ahead. There's a big scrap behind. Cars absolutely everywhere. Oh my god, what a start it has been. But wow, Lewis Piper, what a start. 1.7 seconds.
Looking down the inside of Old Horse, doesn't quite get it done. But there's action everywhere you look, as always on the first lap.
Wow, there's
Horse
cars scattered everywhere on this first lap.
Old
out
Horse
of
gaining
turn
2
3.
positions. Nova Gibson looking for the move on Templos. Templos goes a little bit wide. That could give Nova Gibson the advantage. onto the big straight now. Nova Gibson looks like he's going to make the move up into P7. Leaves Tempos behind.
Lovely does it, does Nova Gibson. Tempos yet again has not got away well. Seems in every race he just can't get away nicely without having any sort of issues. As Striker Boy is now striking a move on his old teammate. As he does get that move, that's a fantastic move from Striker Boy, and gets up to the P8. Tempos is all out of shape now. He needs to really regain his mentality and get those positions back. He's lost 3 positions in a lap. Needs to really get his head back in the game and get back on it. Duris will not be pleased with the first lap, but it's not just how it goes. It's not a race of 2 laps, it's a race of 26. Let's see how Tempos does in the long run with him on the hards critically too.
Johnny looking for the move on Obo Racing. Gonna go around the outside. Like me and Parker last time, Johnny gets the move done. Fantastic work from Johnny. Striker Boy. Oh! No.
And that's a big crash out of farm corner. Oh, that's such a big shame for Johnny. I think that was his move there for the taking. I'm not sure who was in the right or the wrong, but Johnny yet again just can't seem to get the race results in. It's now all up to legend pretty much, if there is no safety car, of course. Such a shame for Johnny in the early stages of the Grand Prix. But wow, 1.7 seconds is the gap from Phoenix to Lewis Piper. Jake Squid seems to be just hanging on in the 1 second range to Phoenix, and hopefully Jake Squid can nick some DRS on the next lap too, to get him that wee bit closer on this next lap. But it's a great start from Lewis Piper.
Yeah, gained 1.7 seconds to Phoenix within 3 laps. Great stuff, as always, from the ball sitter. What can Striker Boy do on Nova Gibson?
Striker Boy with a great start, up 2 positions so far. Gonna want to make it 3. Nova Gibson kind of left out there with no DRS. Gonna be a struggle out of Maggots and Beckett's too. And can Striker Boy get a move done here? Up into Cops. Gets the power down nicely. He's going to want to use a bit of VRS to get past, but I think he's going to save it. So he gets DRS out of Maggots and Beckett. It's all a DRS game around here. But rounds out Cops. Turn 9 now into turn 10. Where Maggots and Beckett's begin. Striker Boy is going to want to get his move done, especially with Nova Gibson out of DRS of Old Hoss. And Tempos is kind of sitting duck now, just waiting for them to make a mistake. I think there's a bit of a crash there. I think that's Kev the Slice. This here 2 driver seems to make a mistake. It doesn't cost him that much time. I don't think he's got any damage, so it's all good there.
Doesn't opts to stay behind. Good choice from Striker Boy.
As Jamal has DSQ'd, I'm not sure what happened to him. I'm not sure how long it's been happening for. I don't know if I've just noticed that now.
On the start.
Oh, that's a shame for Jamal. The top of the championship, and he's now gonna struggle to keep Lewis Piper behind in the championship if Lewis Piper gets points today. Just unlucky for Jamal, as now Striker Boy is a lot closer. But does go for the move. Now going into turn 6, easily done. He's passed by the apex, and I don't think Nova's going to fight this one back. And now Tempos is going to want to get that move done too, if he wants to keep with Striker Boy, his old teammate. He's going to want to go for it into Cops maybe. Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo just stays behind on this occasion. Goes slightly wide, does Tempos, probably just to save himself from getting any penalties, of course. But into Maggots and Beckett's. Tempos on the hards, and the drivers in front on the mediums. He's got a very good exit, very close to the back of Nova Gibson, but they've both got DRS, so pretty stuck is Tempos. Is he going to want to go for the move? Round the outside is his option. It will be the inside of the next corner if he stays side by side. Goes down the inside, and I think he's going to get that move done. Nice does it for Tempos. He's going to want to get a lot closer to the back of Striker
As
Boy
Legend
2.
spins, he's been spun out by Lucas Giles. I was focusing on that battle. 10 plus gets the position, but Lucas Giles, it looks like it was the spin Legend. There was contact between the two. Oh, that could be an incident there. That could be a report.
As yet again, the Mercedes just seems to have no luck. He is still within the pack, which is good for him, but it just doesn't seem to be going the Mercedes way yet again. Johnny down in P13 and Legend now in P9. Such a shame for Legend, as I think he was a sitting duck in that situation, which is such a shame for the Mercedes.
Oh, and there's more contact. 3 cars have gone in the grass. It's not what we want to see at all.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky to overtake cleanly around here because he's on exit. Normally there's not that much space. It's wide in, then tight out it seems, and struggling to get it done cleanly. But these drivers from all the way down from P4 to P7 are going to look to get involved, but the top 3 I've seen to just cleared the rest of the pack fighting for P4, so no mistakes from them drivers. Phoenix and Lewis Piper's gap has just seemed to stay the same since the start. 1.7 seconds is the gap, pretty similar pace. I'm pretty sure they're on the same strategy too, but yeah, looking good for Lewis Piper and Phoenix in the first stint of the race.
Gotta say, Jake Squid driving a fantastic race so far. Again, we've seen him practicing. There's a spin from Old Hoss. Old Hoss has spun.
Oh no, the consistent man in AlphaTauri, that is not great for him. As I think that's going to put him into P10. No, just keeps it P9, which is lucky for him. But Old Hoss, the man who is probably the most consistent this season, has spun probably for the first time. I'm not sure if he has before. Unlucky for Old Hoss, just seems to got a bit excited on the exit and just spun it, which is such a shame. But that promotes 10 plus, and Striker Boy up places. Now the fight for P4 has got a lot more easier for them two drivers.
Legend after his spin, can he make it back up into P7 with a move on Nova Gibson? DRS and DRS, nice and easy for Legend.
Nice from Legend, good recovery so far. From the Mercedes, hopefully points are on the cards for the Mercedes drivers, as it has been confirmed that Seth Martin will be going to Mercedes next season too, so one of these drivers will be at risk of losing their seat, so they will have to fight every single round and try and get as many points for the team to try and beat one another to the seat. Oh, Striker Boy is getting very close to the back of Lucas Giles, but it just seems Lucas Giles has enough straight line speed to keep him at bay, and yet again another lap where Striker Boy can't get through in Sector 1, now Sector 2. The main overtaking zone out of Maggots and Beckett's with a DRS there. Very close. 4 tenths is the gap, but Lucas Giles gapping on the straights. Both inverted strategy, I believe, too, with the Red Bulls on hards, Striker Boy on the mediums. But Phoenix is getting a lot closer to Lucas Giles. Lewis Piper, I've noticed as well, 3 tenths is gained on this last lap. There's Off race, it doesn't look like it's a good race for him. Both the Hasses are struggling down in P17 and P18 at the moment. Not their day at all. But such a shame for them, as Striker Boy is just left and out to dry in P5 on the mediums. His tyres will start to wear off a lot more than the hards, and they'll start coming to play. That's where 10 plus will come in. P4 and P5, that will be a great result for Red Bulls, but on the inverted strategy, they'll be a lot faster in the second stint. We'll see when the do have to pit in the end. But Lucas Giles and Tempos looking strongly paced so far. Tempos is getting a lot closer. Then Striker Ways to Lucas Giles is gaining a lot more. Maybe those mediums are starting to go off now. But yeah, also Jake Squid is on the mediums too, which is gonna lose him a lot more time at the end of his first stint to Lucas Giles, as he seems to just be losing a bit more now as his tyres seem to fade away. But getting very close between Striker Boy and Lucas Giles, and Templos is getting pretty close too. A lot closer now. He's gained so much through Maggots and Beckett's on exit. It's just I couldn't get a line, and won't gain enough. I don't think any of them will make any overtakes into turn 15.
Is Lucas Giles holding up Striker Boy to keep Templos in the DRS on his hard? We've seen Lucas Giles has great pace so far. Templos, is he struggling? Are they playing a team game here? They are both in the VC, talking to each other. Are they helping one another out?
Seems that Tempos is mighty through Maggots and Beckett's, but just on exit, going into, well, on exit of turn 14, it just seems to go slightly wider than Striker Boy. Striker Boy seems to get that traction on exit, which just stops him from getting the overtake done. But Lucas Giles has got quite a lot. Just Striker Boy is probably getting a bit frustrated at the back of the Red Bulls. But yeah, unlucky for Striker Boy. But Tempos just needs that bit more traction on exit to get past Striker Boy and make it a Red Bull 4-5. That'll be great points for the Red Bull team.
Legend, is he joining the battle now in DRS range of the three in front? Can he get involved? Tempos
Yet again, we see
is closer than what Striker Boy is to Lucas Giles. Can Tempos Striker move on Striker Boy? It's in his name.
As like I said, he just doesn't seem to get a good exit, but it might be good enough this time around. Down the inside at turn 15, Templos goes, he needs to get his move done, but Striker Boy keeps it around the outside. But now, down the inside, can he outbrake Striker Boy in the Aston Martin? He's going to want to go for maybe a switchback. Can't do it there. Now onto the Hamilton, start finish straight, just too far behind. It's just the exit out of Maggots and Beckett's what just lacks him that bit more straight line speed straight away. But it's such a shame for Tempos not to get past there. But on this lap, maybe Lucas Giles has got him out of DRS, which is going to make it a lot easier for Tempos. We'll see if he does have it on this next straight. Because no, he doesn't. Now Tempos needs to make the most of that. Gonna gain those extra few miles an hour. Already seems a lot faster on the straights, especially if Striker Boy doesn't get DRS out of Maggots and Beckett's. That'll be crucial.
Legend has joined the battle within 5 tenths now of the three cars in front. See what he can do. You'll have a great view of this battle in front.
Yeah, definitely, but yet again, Striker Boy just out of DRS. It's Lucas Giles, and that's going to be effective on the straights. Now Templos, he needs to get a good enough exit. Yet again, just seems to go slightly wider than Striker Boy, but with Striker Boy without DRS, will Templos ease past? And I think he will. Easily done for Templos and makes it a Red Bull 4-5. He's deserved that for the last few laps now.
Lewis Piper's spun.
Lewis Piper, he is spun on lap 11. That's such a shame for Lewis Piper. He seems to be doing enough at the moment, but just couldn't keep it consistent. Now Phoenix is in the lead. I think he was gaining anyway, but Lewis Piper, such a shame he's spun, but still got many laps to go, 15 laps exactly to go. Lewis Piper needs to get back on it. Maybe those hards, he's starting to struggle on them.
Back to this battle then. Striker Boy, can he get back at Templos? Or can Templos pull away? Are Striker Boy's mediums falling off now?
As we are seeing some medium runners coming to the pits. But yeah, the Red Bulls, I think they are on the mighty strategy. In the second stint, they're going to be so much faster. Let's see if Lucas Giles Let's 10 plus in DRS, or 10 plus catches off enough in Maggots and Beckett's to just protect him.
If he slows down by a couple tenths, you will be able to pull him away in the DRS. Ultimate team game.
Legend probably going on the undercut now on the mediums, but Striker Boy, yeah, his tyres must be wearing off now. Those 10 lap old mediums through Maggots and Beckett's, you can tell how much 10 plus gains on those hards. Look a lot better than his mediums at the moment, but looks good for 10 plus. The second stint might be mighty, and let's see if 10 plus can beat his teammate as Striker Boy is in the pit lane, and so is Jake Squid from P3. That promotes Lucas Giles and 10 plus. Let's see if they can get a podium today.
Pimpula looking for the move on Dan Sparran. Way before the braking zone. Nice and easy. As Legend is in there as well. Overtakes them both.
That's a lovely move from Legend. It's some clean air for his undercut attempt on Striker Boy.
They're both going in the pits.
Let's see if Legend does come out ahead of Striker Boy. Now coming down the main straight into turn 1, he actually did get a purple set free on that last lap. Will he get ahead? Not on this occasion, but you've got to think, yeah, especially cold hards is going to struggle on this first lap of warm-up. I think by Maggots and Beckett's they will be warmed up, but let's see if he can get that move done before then. He's going to really struggle on the start of this lap. Is Striker Boy, and Legend is looking mighty on those fresh mediums up to temperature 2. He's getting very, very close. Probably going to go for a switchback here. Legend down the inside. What a switchback this will be. Can't quite get it done, but into Cox, he will have the better traction by far. Ooh, Striker Boy on the inside. Legend on the outside. Gets it easy done. Into Cox. Been a great undercut move from Legend. Also, he's caught up to Jake Squid too. This is going to be a great comeback charge from Legend. A bit of an incident on the first few laps for Legend, demoted him quite a few places. He's now fighting for the provisional P3 sitter of Jake Squid. Legend is on an absolute charge. Down the inside he's going to go. Tries to block it off to Jake Squid. Not quite. Into turn 15. Legend, 2 moves in a lap. Fantastic lap from Legend. And he's up into P6 on merit.
Wow, what a charge from Legend after his spin. See what Temples can do against Lucas Giles.
I'm not sure what strategy is going to be from the hard mediums. I wonder when they're going to pit. But Legend, what a charge that was. He's got the fastest lap too. Tempos gone wide yet again there, but no time penalties. He's just going wide enough so it doesn't give him any warnings. But I think Lucas Giles will have the better strategy since he is ahead. But Tempos seems just gaining that extra bit every lap. I wonder how the top 4 on the hards are going to pan out on the mediums, as we've seen Legend do phenomenally on the mediums, but his mediums will be a lot older than
in the pits.
So is Lewis Piper. I think that's probably the better option. I think that means that Tempest will pit on this lap. But let's see if Legend has gained enough on the undercut to get anywhere near the overtake on Lucas Giles. And rounds out the final corner. Does Legend. Let's see how close he will be. Going on to lap 14, gets another fastest lap back to back now. Legend has now. Here comes Lucas Giles, pretty similar distance that Striker Boy was, but on the mediums this time is Lucas Giles, so he's going to be a lot quicker and a lot easier to warm up. But on this lap, can Lucas Giles do enough to keep ahead? I don't think he will, you know. Legend seems to have the run going into turn 6. Round the outside he's going to try and go. Lucas Giles on the cold mediums. Oh, wow. What a battle. Lucas Giles going to try and hang it out on the outside. Doesn't quite but will he go for it into Cops? Legend has got P4 at the moment with a few drivers still left to pit, but he will keep that move, and that's a fantastic move for Legend. Lucas Giles, crucially, will have DRS on the next straight and he's very, very close to the back of Legend. Can he get that move back again? The Red Bull needs to really gain every little bit he can out of Magus and Beckett's to get this force of Legend overtake done. He probably needs it at the moment to try and keep Templos, his teammate, ahead. Pushed him very wide on the grass. His Legend left him no space there, but he does get that move done.
Got to say that was pretty naughty from Legend, and that will promote Templos in front of Lucas Giles.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's not great at all. You can't be doing that at this stage. Let's see if Templos comes out ahead of the cars, as I think he has, but Jake Squid will have the up to temperature hard compound. Let's see if Templos does it, as Phoenix has lost the position to Lewis Piper coming out of the pit lane. That's a great undercut from Lewis Piper on an extra lap, but Jake Squid has got the move done on Templos. There's a lot of battle going on everywhere, but he has done it into turn 6. The tyres warm up has just can't seem to be doing enough. But yeah, unlucky.
We know what can happen here. Into this corner.
A Mercedes and a Red Bull. As Legend spun out his other teammate. Let's see what happens between him and Templos. Templos will have DRS on this straight as well. Let's see if Templos can actually get Jake Squid on this straight, which would probably help him a lot to get him in the podium places. Templos is looking for back-to-back podiums, and he just won't make the move on this lap. 11 laps now to go. Let's see how this pans out for the final podium place. Legend is looking quick, but so is Templos too on the mediums, both on the better strategy in the second stint.
Legend could be hit with a penalty though, with that incident with Lucas Giles, as he looks for it into turn 1. This could be audacious. And he's spun. Templos gets one back for Lucas Giles. Do not condone that at all.
Turn 7 there, but Jake Squid is going to try and get it on the exit. Still near his right side of his wing to his side. Always down the inside at Cops. We've seen how this go in the past. Jake Squid is going to look to get Templos. Doesn't quite get the move back, but Templos is into the podium place. He's into P3. Nicely does it from Templos. Lovely move.
Great battling. Can Jake Squid get him in the DRS? Striker Boy complaining about his internet as he left the session. Can that promote Lucas Giles back into P5?
Oh, unlucky for Striker Boy. Try and get him back in as soon as possible.
And he is losing time with Striker Boy. So unfortunate for him. Jake Squid against Templos. Can Templos hold it out in the final podium position, or can Jake Squid make it his own? 5 tenths is the gap going into lap 17.
Ooh.
That takes him out of DRS. Lucas Giles gonna get past the ghost of Striker Boy into the next braking zone.
Just gonna easily saunter through before turn 6. Is his second personal best.
And Lucas Piper, 4 tenths, 4.5 tenths.
There's Phoenix with the extra lap of fresh tyres. He's looking quick. He's gonna want to challenge the lead of Lewis Piper. Held it for a few laps before the pit strategies started to occur, but just can't get close enough on this occasion. On the next lap he is even closer. Let's see how this one pans out. As the better strategy just seems to be the hards to mediums so far. We've seen some great battling, as now the Red Bulls have proved it nicely, but Phoenix is going to want to prove it as well. 1 lap younger tyres of Phoenix, going to give them the extra bit of grip on every exit to the corners, but rounds out sector 1. 3/10 is the gap between him and Lewis Piper. Williams versus Ferrari yet again. This battle, I think, is going to go right down to the wire in the last race of the season. Phoenix needs to get this win under his belt to get involved in the standings, but let's see how this one pans out then. Winless.
Such a shame for Striker Boy's consistent streak of points comes to an end as he disconnects. Phoenix though, let's focus on this battle in the DRS. Looks like you're going to have to wait for next lap. 2.5 times. Can you try and get Striker Boy back in, please?
Yeah, well done.
As Noah Gibson gets Striker Boy as well, he's losing all the positions that he worked up. Such a shame for Striker Boy.
So hopefully he gets back in the lobby as soon as possible so he stays at least in the points. But we are now watching the battle for the lead as he is back in the lobby, thank God. Hopefully he can regain some of them positions that he has lost. DRS now enabled for Phoenix, but just can't get close enough. You know, maybe he's going to save the move until the end. Very similar pace from both the drivers. DRS for Phoenix, of course, but just can't get close enough to get a move done.
Ooh, this is exciting. Who's going to take the victory?
Lewis Piper has already won twice this season against the winless Phoenix. Phoenix has put it on the podium a few times now. Could have won in Monza, but just got the worst strategy really. Unluckily, had to pit near the end, saving for a puncture, which Lewis Piper pretty much had on those gripless tyres. But 2.5 is the gap going into the final few corners. Can't get close enough yet again. Same old story on a new lap. Let's see how it pans out on the next one. Into lap 20 we are going now. 6 laps remaining when he crosses the line, and let's see how this pans out. No mistakes on both of these drivers now, otherwise you never know, Templos could be up there.
Templos in P3. Looks like he's going to take the final podium position. We saw Jake Squid's moment coming out of the exit of the corner that these front 2 drivers are on right now, which looks like it's cost him the final podium position. Being Evans behind Lewis Piper. Is he going to be close enough for the main straight in the final sector? Let's see what he can do. Thank you to everyone that's in the stream right now.
As I think Jake Squid has probably just chose the wrong strategy today. Lucas Giles is gaining quite some margin in these last few laps. Few attempts taken out on the gap between him and Jake Squid, with him on 2 lap newer mediums. They will die out near the end though, so he needs to catch up as soon as he can.
Doesn't look like it. Phoenix stays behind for yet another lap.
Both got very similar ERS in the pot, so they can use it in the later stages. But the similar driving standards, both of them taking very different lines in Sector 1, I've got to say. But yeah, going into Portimao next week, I'm sure Phoenix would love to have a win under his belt. The first one this season. Lewis Piper, with 2 already, is going to want to snatch a 3rd in season 5.
Chris W. shouting for Phoenix, saying he hopes Phoenix gets his first win. No hate to Lewis, but he already won. Give Phoenix a win. Very true, as Lewis Piper goes a bit wide there. That's Phoenix in.
But yet again, is probably a bit closer actually. Needs to gain every 100th he can to get close enough to dice up a move. I'm guessing going into turn 15, now into Maggots and Becky, it's probably the corners you can gain the most. It just takes so much curb. It is a lot closer than last time. See how the exit goes for Phoenix. Nice, he does it, but I think it will be too far apart. Yeah, it just needs to be grip on exit. Yeah, grip on exit doesn't seem to be enough. It's like 10 plus 7 earlier out of turn 14, but they're both having very similar exits, with Lewis Piper just coming out on top, as I think there's a spinner of a Mercedes, but it won't affect him. He keeps the position in P10.
These two are always great to watch. Theo in the chat saying Phoenix and Lewis will crash each other out. Jake Squid will win in the race. Pretty optimistic, seeing as though Ten Boss is standing in the way.
Yeah. No, I do think it has been a good race from Jake Squid actually, to maintain P4, especially on the hards as well. Hasn't seemed to let himself be gapped by 10 plus. Still 2 seconds is the gap, but Lucas Charles won a hunt behind. He's gained probably about 5 tenths since I last mentioned it, probably about 2 laps ago. Let's see if he can keep that up, and if he does, then he will be easily getting a move done. As now in Maggots and Beckett's, Phoenix is going to want to gain as much as he can. Probably gets on the power too late and loses quite a lot of time on the exit, and just won't be close enough. Probably needs to be within probably about 3.5 tenths, 4 tenths, if he wants to get any sort of move done. But this is going to go down to the final lap.
It's very intense. I think Phoenix is going to wait till the final lap to strike a move on Lewis Piper, so then he won't be able to get him on the next DRS straight after that. So could be tactical from Phoenix. Got 70% battery. I think that is what he's doing, but Lewis Piper has acknowledged that, and he's on pretty much the same amount of VRS as well. He's going to defend all that he can if it does go down to the final lap.
As Lucas Giles is about to get in DRS range to Jake Squid, and this will be a great result and a great comeback drive since the incident with Legend 2 for Lucas Giles. Let's see if he can get P4. 3 laps to go now, mediums versus hards, for the final 4th place. For the final position outside of the podium.
Little snap from Piper there. Will that invite Phoenix for an early move?
I don't think they'll be going for it into cops, but let's see if Phoenix does purposely stay behind, because it's very, very close on this occasion.
Spin from Pimpula.
Yeah, it does seem to be a lot closer. That's a lot closer.
From Lewis Piper there. It's going to be the move now.
So here we go then, Phoenix down the inside at turn 15, nicely done. It seems to be going his way in the last few laps. Phoenix finally gets the move done on Lewis Piper, but this is going to go right to the end. It's a very similar pace. Let's see if Lewis Piper can cause a challenge in the last 3 laps, now going to be 2 laps. But Lewis Piper has been overtaken after so many laps in the lead. Oh, let's see if Phoenix can get his first win today here in Britain, where Formula 1 was given birth to. But the Ferrari versus the Williams, British team versus Italian horsepower. Let's see if Lewis Piper can cause a challenge in the last stages. Lap 24 was a turning point. Let's see if the tale in the story can be changed again.
Lucas Charles with 3-second penalty. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get P4. But will stay on board with the front 2 as they battle it out in the final 2 laps of the race. Can Lewis Piper get back ahead, or is it going to be a first win for Phoenix in FZR? 6 tenths is the gap going onto the main straight. Johnny's struggling with track limits. DRS open for Lewis Piper. Can he close that gap anymore? on the next lap. Phoenix used up about 20% from a couple of laps ago of his ERS. Seems to be pushing all it can to try and break the DRS of Lewis Piper and claim his first victory. Around
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal race for Phoenix. He's had the pace, he's got an extra lap, younger tyres, but it's been a very nicely managed race for Phoenix. He's made no mistakes and let Lewis Piper make the mistakes, and he's now in the lead with 7 tenths in his locker. Needs to keep it his way though, got the better exit there. He's probably going to be about 8 tenths. Maybe he's going to get it out of DRS by Maggots and Beckett's, but the grip just seems to go Phoenix way every corner. The car is going for him. Now into turn 7. He has been truly phenomenal. Lap 25 on the penultimate lap we are on now. Lewis Piper has got 2 wins this season. Phoenix with none. Is Phoenix about to open his account in wins in FZR Racing League?
Lewis Piper though, on this occasion, closer than last time.
Oh no! Phoenix! No, no, no. His first win was coming his way. He's spun it at the exit of Maggots and Beckett's turn 14. What a shame for Phoenix. On the penultimate lap of the race, it's all went away for him. Oh no. Lap 25. Lewis Piper's back in the lead. But what an error for Phoenix. Seems to not make any the full race. And now that is the biggest one I have seen this season. The win has been taken out of his hands from a nasty error. Phoenix, what it should have been. Now Lewis Piper, no mistakes on the final lap. About to make it a 3rd win this season.
Yeah, this win will grant back the championship lead to Lewis Piper with the Jamal DSQ. So unfortunate for Phoenix. He's going to be absolutely gutted with that. Lewis Piper looks like he's going to take the win on the last lap. We saw it with him at Monza, where Jamal took the lead against him on the final corner of the final last lap with his 98% tyres. But Lewis Piper is going to take the victory. Takes it easy on the final lap. No real
Lewis
threat.
Piper. He spun early on in the race, made a big mistake to give Phoenix a lead. Got the undercut done, led it for so many laps. He's done phenomenally well to manage it. Made a mistake out of the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, what gifted Phoenix the lead. Phoenix then spun at the end of Maggots and Beckett's to give Lewis Piper the lead. Winless Phoenix yet again. But Lewis Piper makes it a 3rd, comes round the final corner to win at Silverstone. What a win for Lewis Piper. The 3rd this season, goes back at the top of the championship. Phoenix sets the fastest lap of the race and puts it in P2. Winless yet again, unlucky for Phoenix, and he's going to want to open that account of wins this season. So unlucky that spin on the penultimate lap, but yet again Phoenix, things do not go his way. But Templos, yet again back-to-back podiums, things are on the up for Templos into P3, great stuff for him. And Jake Squid, unluckily, probably on the worst strategy out of them all, gets P4. Lucas Giles with a great recovery from the incident with Legend, gets P5, and Legend in P6. Striker Boy in P7 after finally getting back in after the disconnection. Old Hoss in the points as usual, phenomenally.
Interesting.
But Striker Boy gets back in, gets P7. Old Hoss yet again gets the points, consistency. Near the end, a lot better from him, a lot more than we know. Nova Gibson in P9. Kevin Slice, the Tier 2 driver, gets points on debut in Tier 1. Brodo gets P11 in the end. Johnny doesn't get points. Is dropping down after, I'm not sure what happened. But that is it then for round 6 here in Silverstone. Wow.
Wow, what a race that was. Lewis Piper takes the victory on the final lap. So unfortunate for Phoenix. So unfortunate. Griddies his way onto the top of the standings.
Yeah, yes. Yet again, another win for Lewis Piper, the third this season. Gets back at the top. Jamal with the same, really, of what happened to Lewis Piper in Hungary. A DNF for him, which was unlucky. But yeah, great win and great comeback drive for Lewis Piper after he spun the early stages. But yeah, again, Lewis Piper is on top, third win of the season. Been a great race from him today.
Yeah, remember, guys, follow us on socials. We'll be posting the race results along with the highlights of the race. And stick around if you want to hear the interviews from some of the drivers. I think we've got Jake Squid waiting after his P4 finish. I think he was just on the wrong strategy. Congratulations to all the drivers. Very intense race. But Lewis Piper came out on top. As we wait for some interviews. Shall we go straight into Jake Squid?
Can do.
Jake, P4.
Oh, oh, that, oh, that race took everything out of me. Oh my god.
To be fair, I think that's well managed from you actually. P4. I think you should be pretty pleased with that result. Probably on the not as good strategy with 10 plus pretty quick on the mediums, but just gives you thoughts on the race.
Yeah, in qualifying, honestly, fair play to Phoenix and Lewis Piper. Those times were amazing, bro. The second we saw them, we knew it was like definitely not the times we're competing with. So I think for where I came, top of the people who we were trying to battle with, because we knew Lewis Piper and Phoenix were never in our race today. Unfortunate for Jamal. Actually, when the first round of pit stops came, I got held up exiting the pits by around 2 seconds, and that sort of helped give 10 plus the run on me there. So it's unfortunate with the pit stop strategy, but P4, got to be happy with it. Good points for the team.
Yeah, that's a good result from you. You got the first win of the season. Can we expect not more going into Portimao next week?
Portimao, oh, I have not done that track before. So let's just hope for the best.
I think it is. I think it definitely is one of those tracks where not many has practiced. But P4, did you have any incidents in the race?
No, there was actually quite a lot of nice racing. I took P2 off the start, which I was pretty proud about. Beating Phoenix off the line and then keeping up with them until a couple moments. Had a couple moments in the race. That's like, it is what it is, but we'll move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Onwards and upwards for AlphaTauri. Currently doing a fantastic job at the moment with you and Old Hoss. Unfortunately, Old Hoss is going at the end of the season. Lewis Piper is going to be a teammate next season as well. But
yeah, I can't wait to get destroyed.
yeah. But yeah, you are currently P9 in the standings, but with that result, I think you'll be up into PA or P7. So onwards and upwards for the team. Another good result from you, and wish you the best of luck going into next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. See you.
See ya.
Right, that looks like it's it for the interviews, so we'll conclude the stream there. Thank you for everyone who joined today. Remember to follow us on socials as we'll be posting the race results, highlights, and the updated driver standings after this round. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you at Portimao next week.